dangerous liaisons, the Sonny Ada Turner love triangle that could destroy Port Charles. The cobblestone streets of Port Charles have witnessed countless secrets, betrayals, and forbidden romances, but none quite as explosive as the brewing storm between mob kingpin Sonny Corinthos and Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner. What began as professional antagonism during softball games and courtroom battles has evolved into something far more dangerous, a connection that threatens to unravel both their carefully constructed worlds. Recent weeks have seen an undeniable shift in the dynamic between the seasoned crime boss and the determined prosecutor. Where once stood two adversaries locked in the eternal dance of law versus lawlessness, now emerges a complex web of attraction, deception, and deadly secrets. Turner, who arrived in Port Charles with the singular mission of bringing down Sonny's criminal empire, finds herself increasingly drawn to the man behind the reputation. The turning point came during what should have been a routine softball game between the Port Charles Police Department and Corinthos Coffee, when Turner twisted her ankle attempting to steal third base. It was Sonny himself who came to her rescue, carrying her to General Hospital with a tenderness that surprised both of them. This moment of vulnerability cracked the professional facade Turner had so carefully maintained, allowing glimpses of the woman beneath the prosecutor's stern exterior. The seduction strategy unfolds. Sonny Corinthos has never been a man to leave things to chance, especially when his freedom hangs in the balance. Sources close to the situation reveal that the mob boss has been deliberately employing his legendary charm, a offensively calculated strategy he's used successfully against law enforcement officials before. The pattern is eerily familiar to longtime Port Charles residents, who remember his previous entanglements with FBI agents Hannah Scott and Reese Marshall, both of whom arrived with professional mandates to destroy him and departed with broken hearts. Turner's resistance began crumbling during an unexpected dinner invitation at the Corinthos estate, initially arriving to ask Sonny to stop sending inappropriate gifts that could compromise her position. She found herself persuaded by his daughter Donna to stay for a family meal. This glimpse into Sonny's domestic life, watching him interact lovingly with his children, reveled a side of the notorious crime lord that contradicted everything she thought she knew about him. The evening took a dramatic turn when Congressman Drew Kane arrived unexpectedly, launching into a blackmail scheme that Turner witnessed from her hiding spot. Overhearing Drew threaten Sonny over custody arrangements involving his grandson Wiley, Turner saw firsthand the corrupt machinations of those supposedly on the right side of the law. This revelation began shifting her allegiances in ways she hadn't anticipated. Deadly secrets surface. What Turner doesn't yet realize is that her growing attraction to Sonny Corinthos comes with a price far steeper than her career ambitions. Hidden beneath the surface of their burgeoning romance lies a secret that could destroy them both. Sonny is the one who killed FBI agent John Cates nearly a year ago. The murder itself was swift and brutal, occurring at the Quartermain boathouse during what was supposed to be Sonny's surrender to federal authorities. Instead of submitting to arrest, Sonny arrived armed and determined, shooting Cates twice in the chest and once in the head after the FBI agent made the fatal mistake of threatening Christina Corinthos Davis. The crime scene was quickly sanitized by Michael Corinthos, who happened upon the aftermath and helped his father construct an alibi with Carly Spencer. The investigation into Cates' death has remained frustratingly cold, with law enforcement unable to identify the perpetrator. Despite strong suspicions about Sonny's involvement, various suspects have emerged and been dismissed, including Alexis Davis and her daughter Christina, both of whom had public disputes with the deceased agent. The case has become a political hot potato, with different factions within Port Charles law enforcement pursuing conflicting theories about the killing. The ex-wife revelation, the bombshell that threatens to detonate this carefully constructed house of cards, is Turner's hidden connection to the victim. While the exact nature of her relationship with John Cates remains shrouded in mystery, the implications are staggering. If Turner is indeed Cates' ex-wife, her presence in Port Charles takes on an entirely different meaning that transforms her from opportunistic prosecutor to potential avenger. This revelation adds layers of psychological complexity to Turner's interactions with Sonny. Every laugh they've shared, every moment of connection, every flutter of romantic possibility becomes tinged with the possibility of calculated deception. Is Turner genuinely falling for the man she initially came to prosecute? Or is she playing an even deeper game that involves getting close enough to the killer to extract the justice that has so far eluded the formal legal system? The emotional stakes escalate dramatically when viewed through this lens. Turner's growing feelings for Sonny aren't just professionally compromising through a betrayal of her deceased husband's memory. Each stolen glance, each moment of vulnerability, each step closer to romantic entanglement represents another move in what could be the most dangerous game of her life. Port Charles reacts. The developing relationship hasn't gone unnoticed by Port Charles's interconnected social fabric. Diane Miller, Sonny's longtime attorney, has already begun making pointed observations about the chemistry between her client and the prosecutor. Her warning about working versus being worked reflects the broader community's understanding that nothing involving Sonny Corinthos happens by accident. Meanwhile, Drew Kane's antagonistic relationship with both Sonny and Turner creates another volatile element in the equation. Having already accused Turner of being on Sonny's payroll, Drew represents a wild card capable of exposing their relationship at the worst possible moment. His political ambitions and vindictive nature make him a dangerous enemy for both the mob boss and the prosecutor. The potential for scandal extends far beyond personal relationships. Turner's career could be destroyed by any appearance of impropriety, while Sonny faces the constant threat of renewed federal investigation. Their romance exists in a pressure cooker of public scrutiny, political manipulation, and criminal investigation that could explode at any moment. The trap closes as Turner and Sonny continue their dangerous dance of attraction and deception. Multiple forces conspire to bring their secrets to light. Drew's thirst for revenge could lead him to investigate Turner's background more thoroughly, potentially uncovering her connection to Kate's. Law enforcement officials continue pursuing leads in the murder case, with new evidence or witnesses potentially emerging at any time. Perhaps most dangerously, Turner's own investigation into Port Charles corruption could inadvertently lead her to the truth about Kate's death. Her legal training and prosecutorial instincts, temporarily suppressed by romantic feelings, won't remain dormant forever. The more she learns about Sonny's world, the more likely she becomes to recognize the patterns that point to his guilt in her ex-husband's murder. The psychological tension builds as Turner finds herself caught between competing loyalties. Her professional oath demands justice for all victims, including John Cates. Her growing feelings for Sonny demand loyalty and discretion. Her personal history with Kate's weight over its exact nature adds another layer of emotional complexity to an already impossible situation. The endgame approaches. The convergence of these storylines promises explosive consequences for all involved. When Turner finally learns the truth about Sonny's role in Kate's death, she'll face an impossible choice: pursue justice for her ex-husband's murder or protect the man she's fallen in love with. The decision will define not only her future, but her fundamental identity as both a prosecutor and a woman. Sonny, meanwhile, must confront the possibility that his latest romantic entanglement was orchestrated by fate to deliver the justice he's so far escaped. The man who has survived countless attempts on his life and freedom may find himself undone not by bullets or indictments, but by the simple human emotion of love turned to betrayal. The residents of Port Charles brace themselves for another chapter in their community's long history of passion, betrayal, and deadly consequences. In a town where the line between law and lawlessness has always been blurred, the Turner-Sonny-Cates triangle represents the ultimate test of whether love can truly conquer all, or whether some secrets are too deadly to survive. The stage is set for a confrontation that will reshape Port Charles forever, as buried truths surface and forced choices reveal the true nature of justice, loyalty, and love in a world where nothing is ever as simple as it appears. Next, we will dive into the escalating drama surrounding Drew Kane's relentless pursuit to reunite Willow Tate with her children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, no matter the obstacles or enemies he must confront. In the heart of Port Charles, tensions are boiling over as Drew Kane channels his determination into a high-stakes battle for custody. Fresh intel suggests he's uncovered a shocking twist in the recent court decision that awarded full guardianship to Michael Corinthos. It all stems from a clandestine tip from Marco Rios, who defied his powerful father, Jen Sidwell, to reveal that Judge Eva Heron was swayed by a hefty bribe just before her ruling. This revelation points fingers directly at Michael's influential dad, Sonny Corinthos, as the mastermind behind the payoff, painting a picture of corruption that could upend family ties and alliances in the Corinthos clan. Drew, ever the strategist, is piecing together evidence, but whispers in the underworld hint at a larger conspiracy where Sidwell might be pulling strings to manipulate the outcome for his own gain, perhaps eyeing Sonny's valuable waterfront properties as the ultimate prize. As the plot thickens, Drew's suspicions zero in on Sonny as the prime suspect in the judicial tampering. Yet, emerging details suggest this could be an elaborate setup orchestrated by Sidwell himself, aiming to frame Sonny and force him into surrendering control of his prized peers. Imagine the intrigue. Sidwell, a shadowy figure with deep connections in international dealings, might have engineered the bribe to create leverage, turning a simple custody dispute into a web of deceit that spans from courtrooms to backroom negotiations. Drew, not one to back down, could approach Sidwell directly, seeking alliance and exposing Sonny's alleged involvement. In this imagined scenario, Drew presses for concrete proof, like access to the judge's financial trails, believing it would seal Sonny's guilt and swing the custody back in Willow's favor. But Sidwell, playing coy, might feign helplessness, claiming his hands are tied despite his vast resources, all while concealing his true motives that involve expanding his empire at Sonny's expense. The drama escalates dramatically when alarming news breaks about Judge Heron's sudden disappearance, or worse, the discovery of her body in a remote area outside Port Charles, sending shockwaves through the community. This tragic turn visibly rattles Sidwell, whose composed facade cracks just enough for Drew to notice. It's in this moment that Drew begins connecting the dots. Marco's premature leak about the bribe wasn't a rogue act, but part of Sidwell's calculated plan to implicate Sonny, only for things to spiral when the judge became a liability. To protect his scheme, Sidwell may have resorted to extreme measures, eliminating any loose ends that could trace back to him. Adding layers to this narrative, insiders speculate that Sidwell's operation involves a network of informants and hackers who could fabricate digital trails, making the frame job appear ironclad while he positions himself to seize Sonny's assets, perhaps even planning to redevelop the piers into a luxury complex that boosts his global influence. Drew, with his sharp instincts honed from years of navigating corporate and personal betrayals, can't help but admire the cunning behind Sidwell's maneuvers. A sly grin might cross his face as he confronts Sidwell, acknowledging the brilliant tactic but swiftly turning the tables. In a bold move, Drew could propose a deal, assist in overturning the custody ruling by any means, including leveraging fabricated evidence or influencing key witnesses, or face exposure for the entire framing plot. This ultimatum places Sidwell in an uncomfortable spot, as he's not accustomed to being cornered by someone like Drew, whose military background and Quartermain connections make him a formidable adversary. To flesh this out, envision Drew outlining specific demands, such as hacking into secured databases or planting anonymous tips to the authorities, all aimed at discrediting Michael's win and restoring Willow's parental rights, while subtly weaving in Willow's emotional turmoil her sleepless nights, worrying about her children's well-being amid the chaos. Sidwell, bristling at the threat, would likely push back with a steely warning, reminding Drew of his ruthless reputation built on deals gone sour and rivals vanishing without a trace. He might hint at dire repercussions, perhaps alluding to past incidents where those who crossed him faced mysterious accidents or legal entanglements that derailed their lives. Undeterred, Drew stands his ground, promising to follow up with precise instructions soon, leaving Sidwell to stew over how to neutralize this new thorn in his side. The fallout could introduce fresh elements, like Sidwell enlisting covert operatives to monitor Drew's every move, or even attempting to sway Willow herself with offers of protection in exchange for dropping the fight, adding a personal dimension to the conflict that tests loyalties and morals in unexpected ways. As this storyline unfolds, the ripple effects touch every corner of General Hospital's world. Willow's desperation grows, fueled by visions of her kids thriving under her care, while Michael's confidence in his victory wavers amid rumors of foul play. Sonny, oblivious to the frame-up, might ramp up his defenses, suspecting rivals but never imagining the depth of Sidwell's involvement. Drew's gamble could either cement his role as a hero in Willow's eyes or backfire spectacularly, drawing him into a dangerous game where alliances shift like sand. Inventing further intrigue, perhaps Drew discovers encrypted files linking Sidwell to international smuggling rings, which he uses as additional blackmail material, or he recruits an unlikely ally like Carly Spencer to gather insider dirt on the Corinthos family dynamics. What do you think, fellow fans? Could Drew unravel the truth that Sidwell orchestrated the bribe to pin it on Sonny? Will he follow through with his bold threat against such a dangerous foe? And might Drew live to regret challenging someone as unpredictable as Sidwell? Next, we will explore the thrilling must-see moments lined up for the week of September 1st, 2025. packed with high-stakes danger, heartfelt confessions, and paths to redemption that promise to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Kicking off the excitement in Port Charles, the spotlight shines on 3 pivotal scenes that are set to deliver non-stop drama. In the beloved ABC soap opera, viewers are in for a roller coaster as characters navigate life-threatening traps, share deep-seated secrets, and chase second chances amid swirling conflicts. From shadowy hideouts to emotional breakthroughs, these developments build on ongoing storylines, weaving in fresh twists that heighten the tension and deepen character arcs. Imagine the undercurrents of betrayal and loyalty clashing in unexpected ways, with alliances tested and hidden agendas bubbling to the surface, all while the iconic hospital serves as a backdrop for personal reckonings and perilous escapes. Diving into the peril, Vaughn and Jocelyn Jacks find themselves in a terrifying bind, their lives hanging by a thread as fear grips them tightly. Trapped in a dimly lit server room deep within a fortified compound, the duo grapples with the chilling reality of their isolation. With no immediate escape route in sight and guards patrolling the perimeter like silent sentinels, the air grows thick with anxiety as they whisper frantic plans, their hearts pounding from the constant threat of discovery. Adding to the suspense, Britt Westburn stumbles upon their predicament during a covert operation of her own, her eyes widening at the sight of the locked-in pair. Instead of springing into action to free them, or even probing for details on their risky mission, she slips away quietly, prioritizing her own objectives in a move that could spark major backlash later. This decision layers on intrigue, as Britt's silence might stem from her complicated history with underground dealings, perhaps fearing entanglement in a larger conspiracy involving data hacks and stolen intel that could expose powerful figures in town. As the story progresses, questions swirl around whether Britt will confide in Jason Morgan upon her next encounter with the stoic enforcer, known for his unyielding sense of justice and protective instincts. Jason could be the key to mobilizing a rescue, but if Britt holds her tongue, it might unleash a storm of fury from allies back in Port Charles, who value transparency in times of crisis. Inventing a new layer, perhaps Britt weighs the risks of revealing too much, haunted by flashbacks to past betrayals where loose lips led to devastating losses, including the near collapse of her medical career amid scandals. This hesitation could delay critical help, forcing Vaughn and Jocelyn to improvise with whatever makeshift tools they find in the room, jury-rigging a signal jammer or decoding access panels while the clock ticks down on their oxygen supply in the stuffy enclosure. Their predicament underscores themes of survival and ingenuity, with Jocelyn drawing on her youthful resilience and Vaughn tapping into his street-smart tactics, honed from years evading dangers in shadowy worlds. Fortunately, a glimmer of hope emerges with Jason's timely presence at the enigmatic Five Poppies location, a sprawling estate riddled with secret passages and high-tech security that serves as a hub for clandestine meetings. His arrival might not be coincidental, as whispers suggest he's tracking leads on a missing artifact tied to an ancient family curse, positioning him perfectly to stumble upon the trapped pair during his reconnaissance. Envision Jason methodically sweeping the grounds, his keen senses picking up faint echoes of distress calls or anomalous heat signatures from hidden cameras, leading him straight to the server room's fortified door. This potential rescue adds a heroic flair, but it could come with complications, like Jason facing off against armed sentries or decoding encrypted locks, all while balancing his own agenda to protect loved ones from escalating threats. The scene promises pulse-pounding action, blending Jason's cool demeanor with the raw panic of Vaughn and Jocelyn, potentially culminating in a daring breakout that reshapes their bonds and sets the stage for future confrontations. Shifting gears, Anna Devane ramps up her interrogation of Jack Brennan, applying relentless pressure in her quest for answers about ongoing mysteries plaguing the town. With her background as a seasoned WSB agent, Anna employs sharp tactics, from psychological probing to leveraging old connections. But Brennan turns the tables with his masterful manipulation skills. This week, he might spin a web of half-truths, perhaps fabricating a story that he's received a cryptic message from Vaughn and Jocelyn assuring their safety, complete with invented details like a coded timestamp or a vague location hint to make it believable. Such deception could temporarily ease Anna's suspicions, buying Brennan time to advance his own schemes, which might involve smuggling rare artifacts or influencing local politics from the shadows. To expand this, imagine Brennan drawing on his charismatic persona, flashing a disarming smile while planting seeds of doubt about rival factions, all to divert Anna's focus and protect his network of operatives scattered across Port Charles. and beyond. Meanwhile, another highlight centers on Kai Taylor, who appears poised for a shot at redemption after a string of missteps that alienated those around him. The determined young man has vowed to make amends, particularly to Trina Robinson, promising to right his wrongs with actions that demonstrate genuine change. His frustration boils over during a heated phone call regarding Stella Henry's legal woes, where he learns of bureaucratic hurdles that could drag the case back into court. Despite her current freedom, inventing new elements, Kai might channel this anger into proactive steps, like volunteering at a community legal aid center or digging into archived files that reveal overlooked evidence, such as forged documents or witness tampering linked to influential donors. This arc sets up Kai's transformation, showing him evolving from a troubled figure to a beacon of hope, perhaps even mentoring at-risk youth in Port Charles to prevent them from following his past path of poor choices. The narrative hints at further complications, with Drew Kane potentially plotting another underhanded scheme that could backfire spectacularly, paving the way for his downfall amid a growing list of enemies eager for payback. Speculation abounds that his actions might intersect with Stella's case, escalating the drama and ensuring a pool of suspects if things turn deadly. Adding depth, Drew's maneuvers could involve anonymous tips to authorities or alliances with shady lawyers, but cracks in his facade stemming from personal guilt over family betrayals might lead to slip-ups that expose him, turning the tide against his ambitions. Rounding out the week's must-sees, Michael Corinthos seeks solace in a candid conversation with Brooklyn Quartermain, opening up about his swirling theories surrounding Willow Tate and the custody of their children. Amid the emotional weight, they might delve into strategies for safeguarding the kids, weighing legal options and family support networks. The discussion could extend to Maxie Jones' ongoing coma, with updates on her condition sparking hope or concern, and progress with Joe Palmieri, whose budding talents in music or art bring a lighter note to the heaviness. To enrich this, picture Michael sharing vulnerable moments from his childhood under Sonny's shadow, drawing parallels to current fears, while Brooklyn offers empathetic advice drawn from her Quartermain heritage of resilience, perhaps suggesting therapeutic interventions or surprise visits to lift spirits. What are your thoughts on these unfolding sagas? Will Vaughn and Jocelyn escape their dire straits with Jason's aid? Can Kai truly redeem himself in the eyes of Trina and the community? And how will Michael's revelations to Brooklyn shift the dynamics in Port Charles? Drop your predictions below and join us for more General Hospital insights.